This episode's title translates to chilling time, so this episode of Gemology is gonna be chill. No moon rant, even though the first scene has a half moon. Oh yeah, you know how much I love complaining about that. Nah, chilly-teed.
What's the matter, Brogy? You tired?
I don't get tired. I get results.
This episode is packed to the brim with jokes, and a lot of them are pretty good. I've never counted the average jokes per minute or anything, but this episode has to be up there close to Joking Victim. I'll point out my favorites, but I won't have much to say about a lot of them. They're jokes. You can't dissect a joke without killing it.
Was the sign for pull me up one wiggle or two?
Steven almost drowning is also played off as a joke. This one isn't laugh out loud funny, it's just Amethyst being Amethyst. Oh yeah, I think this is the same inflatable raft from Cheeseburger Backpack, nearly 60 episodes ago. I don't know where they are, but they don't have any oars. The gems must have paddled out here by hand, or by shapeshifted hand.
Are you all right?
Nothing.
Would you believe me if I told you I've read a theory that gems can't swim? It's not widespread, but sometimes I think these theorists don't even watch the show.
Oh, it feels like we've been searching for light years.
Light years measures light, not years.
You can tell Pearl is tired because normally Pearl would never get something wrong like this. Amethyst is also wrong, but she's technically right that light years can't measure years on Earth with the way leap years work.
And I'm sick of these life diapers.
Life diapers is pretty good. I might use that the next time I'm on the water.
Fusion like theirs is unstable, bound together by anger and mistrust.
Alright, there it is, an unstable fusion. Bound together by mistrust is such an oxymoron. Shouldn't an unstable fusion just unfuse right away? I still think it's total bullshit that Lapis is able to imprison Jasper in a fusion. Also, why did she need a fusion to trap her anyway? It seems simpler to just trap her in the water without getting anywhere near her. Lapis is just an insane person, I guess.
We're gonna have to keep looking. But first, let's bring Steven home.
Yeah, how long is that gonna take? Through the power of cutting to the next scene, it's instant for us. But who knows how far out they are.
Let's go fishing. First one to catch something wins.
I win.
Much like the jokes per minute, Garnet has a ton of great lines in this one. I'm so happy with what they're doing with her in this season. I think it makes up for her being so boring for most of season 1. There's a good reason she was the fan favorite back when season 2 was airing.
Don't you guys need rest too? You look exhausted.
We look awesome.
This drawing is incredible, and this Garnet line is incredible. No notes.
And maybe we can throw a little fun into the mix with a slumber party.
Fun?
Yeah, this episode's premise is kinda weird. I mean, when the writers need to introduce a power that Steven can only use while he's asleep, they have to contrive some sort of story written around him sleeping.
It'll be like there isn't a vengeful fusion boiling the ocean with hatred.
Oh, sweet innocent Steven, if only you knew what was incubating deeper down.
Steven's right. You should stay here and relax. But I'm going. Because I'm always relaxed.
Garnet's 3 for 3 on landing these banger jokes. Damn. Again, no notes. There's a poster for Lonely Blade 2 in the background here. There's not much interesting about that other than the fact that I can't find it in any other shots. There just isn't anything else at the right angle to see it. How many times do you think Steven has fallen off the balcony with there being no guardrail? It's not a very far drop, and there is a couch right below, but I still think he could hurt himself. I did that video in the extended intro already, and it looked like he moved in when he was the same age as in Gemglow, so he must have some sense of safety by then. Still, be glad no building inspectors are gonna show up. Speaking of building code violations, does Steven's house have any smoke alarms? I don't know why that's on my mind, but I guess this is an episode that takes place almost entirely in Steven's house. What better time to question it than now? That said, this episode has Schrodinger's stool continuity. Every shot toward the kitchen has the stools just out of view. An entire episode in Steven's house and not being able to check on the stools feels wrong.
Now, before we get the slumber party started, would either of you care for a slumber companion?
I like this charcuterie board dynamic he has going on with these guys. Do you think he set them up for Pearl and Amethyst, or does he have them ready to go just for himself? Also, this one looks like a fucked up Bart Simpson. I think the perspective in this shot is off because look at how fucking big this TV is next to Pearl. Unless this is just a huge TV. I actually have a CRT and it's not small, but it's not this big either.
I'm sleeping now. I'm sleeping.
You can't talk while you sleep.
How's this even supposed to work?
Dude, Pearl has literally watched Steven sleep before. How is she not getting it now? Is she stupid? Time for dream analysis. You see the biggest difference between dream living room and real living room? This staircase where the bathroom door normally is. I bet we've all had those dreams where your house has extra doors or stairs or windows or whatever, so this is pretty accurate. I always have dreams about hidden doors to secret rooms in my house. Also, the dream gems don't have gems. Kinda weird to look at Pearl with a normal-sized forehead.
Have fun at your dance, dude. Oh, Bunga Kawa.
Bunga Kawa comes back at least once or twice in later episodes, don't you worry. Garnet with only 2 eyes is just as weird as Pearlless Pearl. Remember when we first saw Garnet's third eye in Arcade Mania and thought that it was freaky looking? Yeah, I think it's been long enough that 3 eyes is normal, and she's more freaky looking with 2 eyes now. This is like the Cartoon Network equivalent of a character with blood pouring out of their eyes and mouth in a horror movie. Does this count toward the cry streak, though? I don't think it does, and there isn't any real crying in the rest of this episode. The patrons will get to comment before I finish the next video, so they'll have to make a convincing argument if they think the cry streak should keep going. Also, Lapis being the only thing in this whole scene with any color is clearly pointing at her being something different from the dream. With this show's style, it's the closest thing they could have gotten to having 2 different art styles in the same scene.
Oh man, I fell asleep and had this weird dream.
Wait, how did you fall asleep so quick? Even when I'm as exhausted as him, I can't just fall asleep right away. Teach me your wisdom, O drowsy one.
I opened the door and Lapis was there, and
Well, that doesn't make any sense. Lapis is fused with Jasper at the bottom of the ocean.
You don't know that. They could have unfused. They didn't, but they could have.
I had a dream where, like, these things were being sold at the Big Donut, right? But the front door of the Big Donut shop led to the back of my dad's van.
Has anyone drawn or animated Steven's dream that he's explaining here? It's really vivid in my own mind. I'd love to see how other people imagine it. I've said it before, but I want to say it again. I think the dreams in this show just make a bit too much sense. I still love how Adventure Time does dreams. If I'm feeling up to it by the end of Gemology, I'd want to start analyzing Adventure Time just so I can talk about the dreams because of how cool they are. Like 5 years from now. Also, wow, I haven't even thought about Dogcopter in forever. Last time he appeared was also a dream sequence. Dogcopter makes a lot of dream appearances for some reason.
Steven!
Lapis Lazuli!
Steven, what are you doing in here?
So this is, finally, the first look into Steven's powers of astral projection, or dream projection, or whatever. I don't know what to call it. When he's asleep, he can basically enter people's minds. It sounds like a horrible invasion of privacy, and that's because it is. There's an episode all about that. I always wondered what this laughing mouth is when Steven wakes up. I initially thought it was Jasper or Malachite or something nefarious like that. It took me until making this video to realize it was Amethyst giggling in the next scene.
Hey, what are you laughing at?
This gag of Pearl's dream being projected is one of my absolute favorite gags in the whole show. Not even what's in the dream specifically, but the entire premise is awesome. I bet this is the first and last time Pearl ever slept, unfortunately. I think the cherry on top of that moment too is that nobody told Pearl what was happening. She's just traumatized by her own nightmare.
What did she say? Is she still in control?
I don't know.
Steven, you could be using your dreams.
Why is there an establishing shot here? What purpose does it serve? Rather, what purpose does an establishing shot normally serve? Either to show that a scene is in a new location, or show that some time has passed. As far as I can tell, this is one continuous conversation, and we haven't left Steven's house. Why is there an establishing shot here? Okay, Jesus, relax. Chille.
You could be using your dreams to connect with her mentally.
It's incredibly convenient that the first time Steven was able to use this power was to find the exact person they've been looking for, instead of some townie or sea creature or something. Fucking amoeba in a puddle somewhere.
Can you do it again? Maybe Lapis can just tell you where they are.
I could tell you that much. At the bottom of the ocean, Dumbo. Lapis isn't going to be able to give Steven a set of coordinates, and if she could, Steven isn't going to remember. Do you know how fast you forget a dream?
So, in my dream, I was... What?
Yeah, Pearl, honestly, your dream was boring. It wasn't even like a fucked up nightmare, like teeth falling out or whatever. Also, real life theory here, I think the reason people have dreams of their teeth falling out so often is because losing teeth is something that every human over the age of 8 has experienced.
Oh, I know this is a dream now. So I can imagine anything I want.
That's not how that works. I don't know if lucid dreams are real. I've never had one personally. But I've always heard people spend a lot of time and effort getting it to work. And to the show's credit, it doesn't work.
Lapis!
Steven, why you keep coming back?
This dream is also kind of evidence that all the components of a fusion are conscious as well as the fusion themselves. There's some basis to those internal conversations, but I also think this whole scene isn't supposed to be taken literally, just like a real dream.
You.
Jasper!
You.
Next is V, then W. We have a whole song about this on Earth. You should learn it. You seem to be struggling. I do like that the whole scene is in that malachite green monochromatic style, aside from Steven, who's obviously not part of malachite. I just think this scene looks cool as hell.
I'm not Lapis anymore. We're Malachite now.
Notice that before this scene, everyone was calling them Lapis and Jasper, or their fusion. They didn't know what she was called until Lapis told Steven in this scene, and going forward, they start calling her Malachite. Alright, I was wrong, there is a clearer shot of the Lonely Blade poster.
So let's take it easy. I'll show you how it's done.
This might be the single best Garnet moment in the whole show. No notes. I really love this episode. It's like a top 5 for this season. But it kind of feels weird to give it that much praise, since not a lot got done in this episode. The story is basically back where it was at the beginning of the episode. Steven got a new power, and that's pretty much it. All we learned about Malachite is that she's still trapped at the bottom of the ocean. She hasn't gone anywhere. The humor in this episode really does all of the heavy lifting, which is really unique for a Steven Universe episode. Not a lot of episodes are comedy focused. And if you want to see new videos from me a week before they premiere on YouTube, you can subscribe to my Patreon for just a couple bucks. The link is in the description, as always. Shoutouts to my Grandmaster patron, Scala LD, Grandmaster of remembering dreams after waking up. And to my Master patron, Geeky Game Guru, Master at assembling IKEA furniture. And shoutouts to my Journeyman patrons, Henri Wickers, Bananas Are Violet, Boomblorp, Dr. Moon, Gage M, Gizmo, Horsey Jumper, JK Gamer 2146, Marsh, Max Buchek, Murky Water 6, Netabag, Sam Bishop, Silly Alien Lady, the back of Garnet's shoes looks funny, the One True Fusion, Yotawo, and ZT the Fish Guy. Next episode is Cry for Help, Sardonyx! Wait, you're still here? What are you doing? Get out of here. The video's over.